Hi everyone, welcome to Epic Militaria. My name's Adrian, and today I'm going to be talking to you about German combat helmets. So the first helmet that we're going to be discussing today is the M16, or the M1916 model. This was introduced by the German forces. It was first tested in 1915, but it wasn't introduced until 1916, hence the name. It was first introduced to troops who were fighting at Verdun, and they found that actually the serious head injury rate went down once they started using the steel variants. What you've got is a hardened steel. It's much harder than the British type of metal that they were using. However, this did come at a cost. It was more expensive to produce. But typical features of it, obviously, is the steel version. You've got horns on the side, which you do have sniper plates which would attach to that. That was a future mod that they would put onto them. There are actually air vent holes. And then you've got the typical liner and chin strap. Very, very basic, but also very complicated to make. Obviously, it's a very basic looking helmet, but it became iconic to German troops and was used in a lot of propaganda posters and propaganda throughout the years. Later on came the M17 and M18 variants. The M18 also had the ear cut out, but this was the standard M16 helmet. Obviously, this is one of our repros, which is made to a very similar steel quality. So the M16 did see use all the way through the interwar period between World War I and World War II, and it did actually continue use by certain units during World War II as well. You will see frontline combat photos of guys wearing these in combat. So that is essentially the M16. So now we're going to go to the M35, which is the main helmet that saw a lot of use during World War II extensively by the German forces. However, this was exported to other countries around the world, mainly China. China was a big user of the M35s, and it was exported to places such as Italy, Spain, and a lot of countries would also use them under license. So they would make their own variants, such as Hungary. South American countries also would use it. The M35 would actually see use in certain forces up until the 1970s. So basically, very, very similar to the M16 in shape, but it was easier to manufacture. Still cost a lot more because they were using a higher grade of metal. With the M35, you can tell the variant as such because it has the rolled edge underneath and it has a separate air vent rivet on the side. These would mainly come in field grey colour, which is the dark green. You'd have a simple liner and a simple chin strap. These would all be sized within the rim. So this one is an ET70. So the 70 would denote the shell size, and then you'd have a corresponding liner with that. And it would go down in twos normally. So 68 would be the next size down, etc., etc. These were normally introduced with two types of decal. Two different types of decal on a single helmet. So pre-war and up until 1941, roughly, they would have the branch insignia on that side and then the tricolour insignia on that side. With the SS, you'd have the SS runes on that side and a swastika decal on that side. After about 1941, these became removed, which we'll come on to later in the video. They were all issued with a smooth finish, and in around 1940-41, they started introducing a textured finish to the helmets, which would break up the shine given off from the smooth surfaces. This would be in the form of like aluminium oxide added into the paint, which would then be sprayed on. So yeah, that's basically the M35 in a nutshell. We'll move on to the M40 now. Obviously, the M40 was introduced around the 1940 period. These were initially non-textured as well because the texturing came a bit later. They would also initially have both decals until that order came in to remove one of the decals. So you would just land up with the branch insignia and the tricolour shield would be removed, or the swastika shield would be removed from the SS helmets. To tell the difference between M35 and M40, you've got the air vent holes. It's still got the rolled edge underneath, but the air vent holes were now pressed out of the helmet steel. That is pretty much the only way that you can tell the difference. So with the M40, These were obviously initially issued without any texture in. They were a smooth surface until that order came in, where they started introducing the texture in to break up that shine, as I mentioned earlier. They were also initially issued with both decals until that order came in to remove them. So you would remove the tricolour shield if you was part of the Wehrmacht forces, or if you was part of SS, you would remove the swastika decal. So they would only have the single decal on one side. Later on, that would again change with the M42, which we'll go on to into a minute. And then they removed them completely. So again, these would come in field grey colour, as did the M35, standard dark green. Not a lot really else to say about them, so we'll move on to the M42. So again, as the number would denote, it would be introduced around the 1942 period, the M42. Our repros come in the slate grey colour, which some were issued in. However, a lot of them were also issued in the earlier field grey colour. These would normally be textured as well by now, because the order had already been in place. M42s would normally come with just a single decal applied, because the order had also again been in place to remove the other one, and they would normally be textured. These are a bit more noticeable to differ between the M35 and the M40 in the fact that this now doesn't have the rolled edge, it's actually just splayed out, and it has the pressed out air vent hole as per the M40. So again, on the inside, still the same, standard chin strap as per the other models, same liner as per the other models. So yeah, that's pretty much the M42. As I said, this would have been introduced in around the 1942 period, with use up until and just after the Second World War. But you would see the M35s and the M40s in service all the way through from their time of introduction as well. So there's a real mix match when you look at original photos. So the last major use helmet from the German forces during World War II would have been the M38. This was used by the Fallschirmjäger. It's a lower profile than the standard combat helmets. You've got a better chin strap to secure it to the head whilst jumping out of aircraft, and the liner would be different as well. This is a lot tougher fitted to the head, a lot tighter, obviously to stop it from wobbling on the exit of an aircraft. This went through a few variants prior to the M38, but the M38 was pretty much the finalised versions. And if you're lucky, you can find these in the odd hardware shop for sale secondhand as colanders, and I've even seen them used as secondhand toilets, little jars to go underneath your bed. So yeah, if you're lucky, you can pick them up really cheap. That we offer a service where we give you the choice to have any of our standard helmets customized. It's something that I brought into the company a number of years ago now, and we can give you the option of, if you go through to our website, on which will be in the link below, you can go through, choose your helmet, what size you require, what colour you want it, whether you want it textured. So as I said before, from 1941 onwards, they would have been textured, what decals you require, and then we can also give you the option to age it if required, so we can make it look a bit more relict and stuff. We offer a large list of different camouflage or paint options, so anything from standard field grey through to Luftwaffe blue. So there's an option of a Luftwaffe blue. We can do desert ones. We can offer you helmets to look like they were used by the units in Normandy. So we've got the 3 colour camos, the 2 colour camos, 6 Fallschirmjäger regiment, which were also in Normandy. We can give you the 2 colour option for them. And like I said, for example, here, this is only a lightly aged one, but we put the scratches in and stuff like this. For something with a bit more heavy aging, you get dents, you get it more bashed around, so it looks like it's been in combat for a fair amount of time. And we can do medic helmets, but also if there's something that's on the list that you're not too sure of, or you can't quite see, you know, there's something bespoke that you want, or you've seen an original image, drop me an email. I can have a look and see whether I can recreate that for you. If you do prefer more of the allied side of things, we do offer custom services on our British infantry helmets, the Brodies, which we can paint in service brown, RAF blue, desert, you name it. Again, if there's a custom option that you've seen and you want, drop us an email again. So if you like this video, let us know. We'll be probably doing a Allied helmets video later on. So we've got things like the British para helmets, the infantry helmets, etc., etc. There's a large list of things. All these items you can get on our website. If there's anything that you would like us to review or do further videos in the future, again, drop us a message, either put it in the comments or send us an email, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the future.